नमस्कार दर्शकबिन, सूर्य वेलनेस एन्ड योगा सेन्टर र भक्ति दर्शन टेलिभिजनको संयुक्त प्रस्तुति अरुणोदय योगाको 15 एपिसोडमा यहाँहरूलाई हार्दिक स्वागत गर्दछु। आज 15 एपिसोडमा यहाँहरूलाई हामी केही विशेष प्रस्तुत गर्नेछौँ। ध्यान एक वार्ता यहाँहरूमाझ प्रस्तुत गर्दैछौँ। अब भने लागौँ योगातर्फ।
Namaskar. Welcome to the 15th episode of Arunodaya Yoga. In this episode, we'll keep eye over the 7th limb of the practice of Ashtanga Yoga. It is called as Dhyan. But to make the meaning of this word clear, we need to understand the 6 previous limbs of the Ashtangic Yoga. We are aware that there are 8 limbs of these practices of yoga. The foundation of these practices is following the disciplines of the body, disciplines of the society. They are called as the Yam and the Niyam. And then the practices of asanas, some physical postures, then the practices around the breath, and then the 5th limb is the practice of pratyahar, the withdrawal of senses. Yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, and then the dharana, the practices around the concentration. And after we have passed these 6 limbs, then only we will be eligible to do the practice of Dhyan. Before doing these practices, we can never reach towards the practice of Dhyan. Different scriptures, different peoples are telling us so many things around these practices. All of us knows that if someone tells us that to sit in Dhyan, we'll sit comfortably, we'll keep hands at rest, chin down, and we'll just sit still. But what to do with this stillness is the question. Where the mind should be while we are keeping our body still. What to think. So there's so many questions that arises when we are sitting in Dhyan. So with this episode, we'll try to unlock the practices of Dhyan through the words or the wisdom coming from the experienced people. So to set up the right environment is very important. So we'll start our practice. Just sit straight, hands at rest over the knees, chin down, and just try to be still for some time. Just don't do anything. Just physical stillness. And when we'll keep our body still, our awareness immediately will shift towards the process of breathing. So just stay around the breath for some time. Body inhaling and getting expanded to some extent. Body exhaling and getting contracted to some extent. And then we should do some prayer after awareness of the body and breath. You could join a palm or keep your palm around your knees for the prayer. And the prayer Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vakah Pranakchakshu Shrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakaroda Nirakarnamastu Nirakarname Astu Tadatmani Nirate Yah Upnishastu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a breath deep in, and while exhaling, gently open up your eyes. As for this episode, we will talk around the Dhyan. So I have kept some text over which we could put more lights. Someone said that Dhyan is just about listening and then doing the things right in our life. What to listen? Dhyan is simply the process of withdrawal from the world, the first step. The moment we close our eyes and we sit still, we disconnect our awareness from the physical world, but still it resides inside our mind. Directly or through the sensory organ, we are disconnecting our awareness, but still it is residing with us inside the head. What we should do around this time? We should just be physically still when we are starting our practice and just try to center around the breathing happening. Inhalation, exhalation. Whether your will is with your practice or not is not important. If you have thought you will sit, just sit straight, still, hands at rest, chin down, and follow your breath for some time. Naturally, there will be some sort of stillness inside the body. And after you became still, someone will start speaking from inside. That someone could be assumed at this point of time to be the same you with the abilities of perfection, with the abilities of only good qualities. And if you will sit still for some time more, you will find that communication between the physical you and the inner you is getting some shape. For example, today morning you wake up and you got angry over your father. So while you will sit still, immediately that thought will hit you. Around this time, your body, mind functioning is actually trying to help you out to get rid of such problems of your anger. You just need to listen to the inner communication. This art of listening is Dhyan. And when we'll sit still and we will thought over that part of anger without paying much attention to our own selfish thoughts. Just try to respect your parent on whom you got that anger. And immediately a new thought will hit your head. You'll feel some sort of repentance inside over your act, and your mind will attune itself to feel sorry for that scene, sorry for that situation. And when you will get home and when you will see your father, you will express a great sense of repentance, and natural correction will fall upon you, and a different dimension of joy will reach towards your inside. So, as per my understanding, Dhyan is this process of listening and the continuous process of internal corrections. Further, it is also said that Dhyan holds the solution to every problems of the life. Physical problems, mental problems, physiological problems, psychophysiological problems, psychological problems, any sort of problem, Dhyan is having the solution. How? We are with some inner world, and that inner world actually holds great potential to heal or to deal with any sort of problems of life. What will happen is, with this practice of stillness, with the awareness kept around the breath, you are in connection with your own self, purest, and with that purity, you will sense a different sort of easiness, calmness spreading all around the head. And we all are in dire need of such volume of peace inside, from where we should start our work or our thinking. So with the refined state, you have got some new abilities of strength of the body-mind functioning. And we should try to utilize this new potential of ours in dealing with the problems of the life. This is what is the process of Dhyan. Solution surely lies, we just need to stay with this practice. Sometimes after the practice of stillness, you might feel uneasy. Accept that. Sometimes after the practice, you feel great joy. Accept that. But never to be indulged much into those thinking of the feeling of joy, of the feeling of pain at the end of the practice. You just sit still and let the inner body attain some cleansing, and it will have its impact on the whole day of your practice of Dhyan. Furthermore, it is coming, the effects of these practices will come just from your own inside. And with that internal cleansing, you will feel yourself that you're holding a very powerful weapon with you, which has the potential to deal with any problems. A miraculous practice. Initially, when we are starting, we should just practice the stillness of the body. That's it. And the other things will start happening on its own. You just give your body, mind to let arrange something new for you. If we are like this, we withdraw, we surrender, we leave the things of the world to someone else, and that someone else will take care of everything of the life. It has happened towards the life of many people, and it would happen to you as well. To be precise, what the scriptures are telling, the practice which we are doing in this world these days of the dhyan is simple, the withdrawal of senses. Dhyan will happen only when your spiritual preceptor will come into your life and will inspire you and will arrange everything in your life. And when everything is in order for you, then only you could sit still and you could be at peace all the time. With this, we have put some light over the understanding of dhyan. We'll keep talking over this because it can't be understood in 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. It needs search to understand these practices most of the time, and whenever you find time, talk to people who used to do these practices. For dhyan to happen, no tools or nothing is required, as it is a way of listening when you apply any methods. The methods are coming from the different schools of the practices. Stay with any one of them. Find your best or suitable practice and stick with it. You will reach towards that understanding of dhyan. And one more thing, you might feel some sort of fear while doing these practices. Be fearless. Nothing wrong could happen towards your life. If you get the dreams, accept the dreams. If you get some vision which makes you happy, accept that. If you get the vision where you are crying, accept that. No problem. With the internal cleansing happening in the intermediate path or on the intermediate path, you might feel yourself to be very untidy, unclean. The similar experience we could feel when we are brooming our house, and in between we'll feel that the house is more dirty. But that is the process of cleansing. Let it happen. At the end, a great bliss you will feel for sure with these practices of dhyan. We'll keep on talking over the difficulties we face while doing these practices. For this episode, we'll set up an environment of dhyan. We'll chant Om for a minute and a half. Get ready. Back straight, hands at rest, chin down. Just be at ease. Do nothing. Follow your breath. We'll chant Om for some time, keeping the duration of Om very short. Get ready. Inhale. Om, 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 Om. When you go on chanting Om like this, the contractions around the navel region will get deep. Let it get deepest. And then one time chant Om full, like silence. Then a breath deep in, and while exhaling, gently open up your eyes. Thank you so much. This much for this episode. I think more than clarity, we might get confused with this word or the practices of meditation. Keep watching us for more clarity. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
धन्यवाद दर्शकबिन, अरुणोदय योगाको 15 एपिसोडमा यहाँहरूलाई आज हामीले ध्यान एक वार्ता प्रस्तुत गरेका थियौँ र यो 15 एपिसोडलाई पनि यहाँहरूले भक्ति दर्शन टेलिभिजनको युट्युब च्यानल मार्फत हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ र हामी आगामी एपिसोडमा तपाईहरूलाई योगाका यस्तै फरक आसनहरू प्रस्तुत गर्नेछौँ। टेलिभिजन हेरेर साथ दिइराख्नु भएको छ, धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद र आजका हाम्रा योग गुरु विशाल सरलाई पनि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। तपाईहरूको दिन शुभ रहोस्। नमस्कार।